What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Q&A 2.0. Haven't done this for a while, huh? So I got a ton of questions. If you want to know how this Q&A thing works, check the first comment and the description. Check that out. I've got very particular rules of how a particular way I like to do this, so I try to stick to that because it makes it better for everybody. So let's hop into this. First question comes from Random Nomad. Jesse, what's up, man? What are your future plans for travel? Any places you are going to? I would like to go to like Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho, kind of the mountainous areas out west for the summer because it's gonna be higher elevation. It's gonna be a lot cooler, and there's a ton of free camping, ton of cool places to check out. Sounds like EV is also thinking the same thing, so it sounds like that's what we're gonna do. But that could change. It could change. Cineskies, what's up, man? Can you talk about the mattress you plan to get for your next bed? Maybe talk about the thickness and type of mattress you will go with. And you were talking about you weren't sure if you wanted a 6-inch or something bigger or smaller. I go 6-inch. Actually, the mattress that's going to go in here is the one that used to be in here, which is a 6-inch Millard trifold mattress. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description. And the new one we have is, I think it's called a Sleep Master, a Bed Master, or something like that. 6-inch. It's a little bit firmer, and it's not cut into 3 sections. And I actually like that one better. I like the little bit firmer feel better, though they're both really nice. So depending on if you want a little bit softer or a little bit firmer, you know which way to go with those two. They're both around $100 on Amazon. And I absolutely love both of them. They're awesome mattresses. I will never go with a regular mattress again. Definitely the way to go. Jonathan R. How big are your nipples? They are so pointy in this vid, referring to the last one. And they are big as pizza pies, baby. Let's see here. I Can Too says, as far as the battery bank for your Astro build, what do you got in mind and how are you going to set it up this time? Kodiak, all the way. All the way. I got 200-watt energy panels that are going to go up here. And I'm going to figure out how to get the wires in here without it leaking like last time. You'll probably see that in the next video as far as the leaking part, not the installation part. That's a week or two out. And then just plug it in the Kodiak. Later on, if I need a second battery, I'll just grab an AGM for $100 or something and plug it into that and have extra battery power. It'll also be charging it in the car with the car charger cable that I got with it, which is an accessory that you can buy. I love the Kodiak system, absolutely. If you guys want to know more about it, I got an article on my website. I'll link that, and I got a couple of videos you can check out on that article as well. It's an amazing system for putting power to your van. I am going to butcher your name, and I'm really sorry, but I'm going to try. Goes D-Talk, maybe? My question is, you know that change is part of life, so if you look back the last few years, what changes have you gone through? And the second and third questions are, which ideas serve you to overcome the fear that might come with the unknown new situations? And also, I wonder, what do you think about limited belief systems and how they prevent us from dreaming big? Okay, the last two, beliefs are just beliefs. They only exist because we believe them. If we didn't believe them, they wouldn't be real. They're just in our head, and for whatever reason, I'm sure it's a survival mechanism, we think our beliefs are like concrete, real things, and real actions come from them. Real things are created from them. Real emotions are created from them, but they're intangible. They're just beliefs. They're just in our head, and we could, at any time, if we're willing to, we can change them, which is an absolutely beautiful thing. So you can completely redefine yourself and redefine the way that you live by redefining your beliefs. So that's a beautiful thing. As far as the first one, what changes have you gone through over the last few years? Okay, it started with being I'm gonna put it in the terms of priorities. So at first, my priorities in the last few years since I started the van thing, my priority was happiness and inner peace and growth. But it all comes down to happiness. So everything I did, everything I thought, everything I ate, everything I did was to promote my happiness, was to become happier. And that worked really well for a while, and then the money ran out, and my priority was survival. So it was, how do I make enough money to eat? How do I make enough money to, you know, travel and do things and this and that? And after a while, that survival, I worked hard enough at this YouTube thing, and it started paying off. And then my priority was, I want a better life. I want to live better. I want to do what I'm doing now 10 times better. How do I do that? And that's where I started to, my YouTube channel shifted from my focus being providing value for people to watch, but trying to provide something good for people to watch and trying to express myself and be authentic in that way, to how do I make videos that people will want to watch and that I can make money with. And that's where my channel started to go downhill. So I started to get back into survival again, and then I caught it, and now I'm like, wait a second, I'm in survival mode now. I need to get back to basics and focus on my happiness and my inner peace first, because I'm no good to my parents, I'm no good to Evie, and I'm no good to myself if I'm not happy. I'm no good to anybody if I'm no good to you guys if I'm not happy. So my first priority in life needs to be happy, or at least content, at least in a state of acceptance for what's going on around me. And that ties into the belief things too. I've got to look at my beliefs and see what they're doing and how they're causing me to act. Because at the time where I was, you know, in survival and trying to be better, it was, I cannot live like this. This is what's happening in my reality right now is not good enough. I need something more. And that caused me to be unhappy. So I'm going to move on to the next one, because I think I said quite a lot there. Roll Show, have you ever thought about pulling your van with a bigger van or motorhome? I think it's the way to go. Yeah, that'd be cool in the future for sure. I don't have the money to now. Right now, my main financial focus is being free of debt and just paying off my debt. So I don't want to make any big purchases, and you'll see, you know, that's really reflected in the Building This Astro, trying to do it for $500 or less. I don't want to do anything extravagant. I don't want to do anything fancy. I already bought a motorcycle. I've got a new guitar, which is totally bitchin', and I do not regret buying either of them 1 ounce. But my priority in life now needs to be to pay off debts and then save money and start investing at the same time. Once I get my retirement going, and that's another question that's further down the road, and you know, my debt's paid and I have some savings, I have a good backup plan, then I can start working on, you know, improving, you know, vehicles and stuff like that. For now, I'm going to deal with what I have and leave it at that. SC1212 Abel, what's happening? Do you guys ever regret not staying in Portland and getting jobs and having a financial future as opposed to your chosen lifestyle? Having a financial future as opposed to your chosen lifestyle. We'll come back to that. And second question is, having sex on a PVC bed in a van in the middle of nowhere as good as having sex on a queen-size bed in a nice, roomy apartment? We'll do the second one first. When Evie and I are getting down, as it were, as you kids like to call it, I'm not looking at the bed. I'm only looking at one thing, man, and I think you can imagine what that is. And it's good, and I don't care about PVC beds or wood beds. I don't care about van walls or, you know, wood walls or sheetrock walls or whatever. That doesn't matter to me. First question, do I regret not getting a job and creating a financial future? A job, to me, and it's not always this way. Let me restart. I'm inserting an effect there. YouTube has opened up so many possibilities for me and so many opportunities that a normal job, you know, working at Starbucks or having a good corporate job or being a trucker or whatever, would never open up for me. If I was working a normal job, I might get a $1 raise a year, you know, maybe more, maybe less, maybe even a $5 raise a year. Maybe I get a promotion. It still caps out. I'm still trading my time, which is a very limited resource, to help build somebody else's vision. I'm just a cog in the wheel of somebody else's vision, and my income potential is limited by time, and my time is very limited on this earth, so it doesn't make sense to me to work for someone else. I've got to follow their rules and do their thing. With YouTube, I am my own boss, and I'm making all the decisions, and it's risky. Something could happen with YouTube, but I could also get laid off at a job, or someone could not like me and claim I sexually harassed them or something, and I get fired, and on and on. Any job is risky. But in this way, not only do I have all these opportunities, like meeting new people and getting, you know, whatever, but my income potential is essentially unlimited, and it doesn't depend on me actively working at the time. When I'm sleeping tonight, I will be making money. And that will be, you know, I'm making that money because I put hours and hours and hours and hours and hours into this thing, and I've gotten better and better. But the more skilled I become and the more value I provide, the more money I'll make. And as I was kind of saying earlier, with YouTube, it's, you know, any good business model is you provide value and you're compensated for it. That's like, to me, that's the basic what a business is. You're providing value or service and you're being compensated for it. That's how it works. So the more value I can learn to provide through this YouTube channel, the more money I can make. And after I did my taxes like a week ago, I was like really late doing them, I realized that I was making a lot more than minimum wage. I just wasn't putting in that many hours into this, and I wasn't putting in that much effort, and I wasn't working nearly as hard as I could. And if I worked harder and I worked smarter and I focused on how I could provide value to my viewers, then I would be eventually compensated for it in one way or another, as long as I stuck with it and kept going. So in that way, I have zero interest in a job. Yes, this YouTube thing could end, but the skills I'm learning and as much as I'm growing by doing this is absolutely indispensable. And the skills that I have now directly translate to any other kind of business I want to start in the future. But with that said, I don't think YouTube's going anywhere. And anyone that says YouTube is not a job, try telling that to Casey Neistat or Peter McKinnon or PewDiePie or any of the people making millions of dollars a year doing this. Like, you're not going to get millions of dollars a year doing many jobs. I'm not saying I'm going to get to that point, but it's possible. It's possible. It's not possible for me to make millions of dollars a year working for somebody else, for some corporation or something. I mean, I guess there are certain industries, maybe it would be, but the people who are doing really well financially are running their own show. They're their own boss, and they've made enough failures where they figured out how to do it right, and they're doing it right now, and they're making big money. And that's not my goal. It's not big money. My goal is being fulfilled, but I'm saying, like, that's the difference between a job and running your own business. I like running your own business. Even with the risk. That makes it exciting. I don't want to live a normal, boring life. I don't want to do what everybody else does. I want to do my own thing. And I get a lot of comments from people, get a job, do the safe thing, do the safe thing. And it's like, that's if that worked for you, man, and that is fulfilling for you, that's great. But for me, it's just not. So I'm going to move on because I'm ranting. Connor Sullivan, when Litecoin goes to over 3,000, will you upgrade to an RV or stick with a van? If I had the money right now and all my debts were paid and I had enough to start investing for, you know, retirement and everything, I would definitely want to move to an RV and probably sell this and get like a Toad. I think Evie would like that too. Having two vehicles is going to be awesome. It's going to help both of us in so many ways. So having a Toad and an RV that has a full kitchen, shower, all that would be really nice. So yeah. Relatively Nomadic, what's up, man? When will there be a real Vanners meetup? Not like RTR, that's gotten too mainstream. I don't know, man. I'm kind of burnt out on the big meetups. Though I guess the van build party, Jamie from Enigmatic Nomadics, that was pretty cool. I gotta check the time, see how much time I got left. Ooh, 5 minutes, I better bust through this. Hi Jed, are you going to connect your motorcycle to the back of your Astro van? Yes. Are you going to need new rear shocks? Yes. These are totally blown. I already ordered them and I'll install them pretty soon. Boondocker, how much money do you need donated to the two of you to travel and survive the last year? 0. As I said, I made more than minimum wage, and that doesn't even include Patreon, which isn't very much. Patreon is $100 a month usually. There were a few months where it got bumped. Some people bumped it up quite a bit, and it got up to like $300. And I've had like 4 people, yeah, I think 4 people of like in the existence of this channel donate through PayPal. A couple of them has been a pretty significant amount to me, which has been tremendously helpful. But I don't depend on donations at all, and I never ask for them. If they come because people, you know, find the value through my channel, if they feel like they've gotten something they'd like to give back, I don't deny them that option. Adam Skies, what's up, man? You have mentioned a lot of times how most fanners you come across are older gray nomad types. Do you think the reason for this and why so many do it is because they have put in the hard years when they were younger and get to a point where they're able to pack up and drive off to the sunset? That said, I love what you're doing, dude. Try to stick with it, man. Or way to stick with it, man. Keep rocking. Haha, dude. I threw in the haha there for some reason. Yeah, that's probably why. Most millennials are broke, man. When in the like 50s and 60s, you could, with just a normal job, you could go put yourself through college and get a house. You can't do that anymore. With a normal job, you can't even pay rent. So yeah, it's a lot harder these days. Not that it's any excuse. Benjamin, can you throw a shout out to my girl Lexi? Keep the positive energy, brother. What's up, Lexi? Ramanias, how many vans do you have? One, and Evie has one. Do you recommend a more expensive, newer model van or a cheaper for a first DIY van? I don't know, man. I'd get the most reliable one that you can afford, that you feel comfortable with. Older vans are easy to work on, I can tell you that. If you don't know how to work on things, and get a newer one. Or you don't want to learn. Something in my throat. What are we doing on time? 3 minutes. Oh, wow, man. The pressure's on. Kane Ramos, what are 5 things you must have while living in a van, and what are some of the biggest mistakes you have made when you first started? PS, love the videos, bro. These are great video ideas. I'm going to have to put these into videos because there's a lot I could say about these things. Faceman, what do you consider replacing your side windows with a hatch door? Do you mean like the window that's a piece of metal that flaps out that you can like stick your hand and head outside of? I would love to do that. I wouldn't like to spend money on that though. It's not worth it to spend money on it, to me. But it would be cool. Supertramp, how tall is the express van with the high top standing room? Overall height, about 6'3". The CTK 1000, how does it feel knowing you've inspired many people to chase their dreams? Getting my own van tomorrow, and you and Evie are part of my influence, so thank you. That's awesome, man. It feels really good to read stuff like that. It feels really good. Thank you. And congratulations, man. That's really cool. The Straight Mustard, my question is, did you and Evie break up, and are you on a falling out? Seems like you guys aren't together anymore. We are filming our own stuff separately. When we film, we're going to film our own things, and then when we're done not filming, we're going to spend more time together and more quality time, rather than trying to film together all day and never really spending any quality time together. So no, we're not breaking up. We're not having a falling out. We're working on improving our relationship and our channels, our businesses. Satan, how much money did you save up before you left for the first time, not counting the van itself? I don't remember. It wasn't much, though. Andy, are you concerned about retirement? Absolutely. Absolutely. It would make more sense in my life right now to pay off debts before I really get started in that. But I am learning as much as I can about investment in the meantime, so that when I do have money to start investing, I will be doing it wisely. Bumping along the back roads. What are you doing for the floor in the new van? I was going to go with a 1/2-inch rigid foam and a 1/2-inch OSB with something waterproof on top of that. You should waterproof that OSB. It molds really easily, and when it gets wet, it just falls apart. So you got to waterproof that OSB. I would just go with, like, I don't know, 3/8-inch plywood or something like that and paint it with mold-proof paint. It'll be a lot stronger and lighter, and if it does get wet, it's not going to completely fall apart on you. Oh, the Thin Slate's great. No issues with mold on it. Doesn't hold water. It's perfect. Do you have any plans to return to Salem this fall? Ask Kewell. I do not. It is too far away. I don't think I'm going to be able to get there. But we'll see. We'll see. Kendre, what's up, man? For beginning banner YouTube channel, should I throw out at least 4 videos to begin with so that if someone comes across my channel, they will have more views? You should work towards putting out views once a day if you can, or at least every other day. The more videos you put out, the more YouTube's gonna push your channel. There's a bunch of cool channels you can watch about like learning how YouTube works. I can't think of the names of any of them, but yeah, check those out. I would release them like 2 days apart maybe, or a day apart. I'm not like a total expert, but that's what I would do. Let's see, I think we got time for one more. Swamp Hick. How often do you think the level of your rig plays a factor in where you park? Turn this off, that's loud. I think about like the level of the truck every night before I go to sleep. I actually have an app on my phone that has a level on it so I can tell, because I don't want my head being, see, I start thinking about like Hicks, my head. I don't want my head being lower than my feet. I always want to make sure my head's above my feet. So I check that every single night, because I guess if you sleep like that, you can wake up with a massive headache that lasts all day long, and I avoid that. I think that's it for today, guys. I'm really, really sorry that I didn't get to all of them. There were quite a few questions here. So thanks for watching. Check out Vandering About's channel. He rocks. See you next time. Love yourself.